But you know what? Maybe I'll come back boot up. And then you don't have to listen to me, like, cry and complain that
You
I
still
want
will,
babies.
so it's okay.
I just want babies. That's all I want. Screw the man. Good morning, Get Well Soon family.
And happy Sunday.
This is your host, Tyler Kidd.
And your co-host, Angelina Mesa.
And whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, all of our streaming platforms, or you're watching us here on YouTube, hello.
Hi.
And welcome back to the Get Well Soon podcast.
We're in a different...
Yeah, you guys are probably like, what the fuck is going on?
I know.
But we had to double record this week because I'm going to be out of the country and we didn't want to miss a week of filming. Dedication. Oh, I thought she was doing this in the viewfinder and she was giving me the finger. So thank you very much for that.
She's leaving me.
But yeah, we're back.
This is a little special. We weren't going to record, but we decided to do a special.
Like a cute little something.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like a full episode. Sorry to break it to you guys, but we're just going to finish up the anonymous submissions from the previous week.
That's crooked. It's fine. Yeah. The P's a little down, but it's okay. You guys know what it means.
You guys know what it says. You guys see it all the time. If you tuned in before the Get Well Soon podcast, you guys know that you're about to be in for a lot of laughter, a lot of lessons, deep dives, a lot of personality. Me and Angelina are like locked and loaded mentally. And if this is your first time tuning into the Get Well Soon podcast, welcome. We take our life experiences and the things that we go through and just, the genuine intention to always live the best lifestyle and dream life as possible. And we turn into little episodes every Sunday. And sometimes we're not okay mentally, and you'll be able to tell. And then sometimes we're thriving.
Yeah.
Today you're going to find out which one it is, because I don't even know. We're in Angelina's house. Angelina's our sponsor this week. But if you guys ever want to tune in, did I put the QR code in this Sunday's episode? I am going to pop up the QR code, though, just in the middle for a brief second so that you guys, I can't take the resource away from you. But here we go. You want to go first? You want to do rock, paper, scissors for who goes first?
Yeah.
Let's make it interesting. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I love winning. Sometimes people ask me for advice on things that I don't know how to give advice on.
What is it?
It's about organizing your life.
Oh,
we can give advice, but we're a little crazy with the organization.
Yeah.
I just ordered 4 new planners the past week, so now I have 7 book planners and I have 3 calendars.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
And 2 dry erase boards.
So to put this out here for people that don't know, me and Tyler are a little cray-cray when it comes to organizing.
Yeah. Weren't you diagnosed?
Yes.
With OCD?
Yes, and actually I went to my primary doctor again, and she really is pushing therapy on me. And
tell her, New Jersey Holistic Healing. Guess Matt's getting his promo. New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness.
I used to go to therapy, guys, but I took a break.
Sometimes though, I've taken a 3-week something break.
I think a year break though is too much.
Yeah, that's not a break. That's
disappear. I actually ghosted my therapist. She was probably very concerned about me.
Does she know you're alive?
Yes, she does now.
Okay. She does now?
Yeah.
Like there was a conversation about you being alive?
Well, no, that didn't get brought up. But a month or 2 ago. No, maybe it was 2 months ago. Whenever I went. I just went once.
Oh, recently?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Twice ago.
Since we started podcast?
Twice ago. Maybe 2 months ago. Maybe before the I don't know.
Before the podcast.
I don't know. I remember.
Angelina yells at me when I don't tell her things, and here she is. Fraud. Not fraud. What's it called? Hypocrite. So you're talking, honestly, so the thing says organizing your life. I guess tips, tricks, things like that. You are asking the right 2 people, but we might
take it to the next level.
Yeah, I was going to be overboard with it, like I had just mentioned. I think definitely one really good thing is having at least one planner, and it's something that you check in every morning when you first wake up.
Yeah.
Have your little to-do list, know what you're doing. Something new that we're about to start utilizing is
a shared calendar
on Google, because it syncs up everything from your emails that you get, from your text, not your text messages, but if anyone's emailing you about an invitation, it just plugs it right in for you.
And you can change the colors.
I did see that. I think I put Get Well Soon to a pretty purple, maybe. I think I did. But just making sure, a thing that really fucked me up when I was trying to get organized was I wouldn't check it. Every Sunday I'd write my entire week And then I wouldn't look at it for the whole week.
Yeah.
And then things would pop up and I'd be like, oh my God, I forgot. Like, 'cause I wasn't looking at it. And also, I'm going to let Angelina talk about this one because I don't feel qualified, but time management.
This girl's time management is...
I don't know what happens. I think like I blink and an hour passes and I don't know what happens. So I can't talk about time management, but Angelina can. She's pretty on time all the time.
All the time.
So tell them your time management skills.
So I feel like writing down your schedule is number one. Write it down or put it on your phone or do both. Maybe don't start out with 10 different planners. Just start out with one, have one in your calendar. And I always say that something that I have to do is a half hour before I have to do it. So I like mentally prepare for it. If that has to be class or recording or even posting my content, I make sure I know I have to post it. I always set alarms too. So if I'm posting something, for example, for our podcast, I have an alarm go off 15 minutes before I have to post. But yeah, giving yourself time. So like if you know something starts at 2:00, I would put it in. Are we doing ASMR sounds?
I'm laughing at myself licking my fingers, but I'm also laughing at the advice you're giving because I know I don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm listening to you. I'm actually taking your advice right now in my head.
I think I say this to you multiple times though. But yeah, definitely I think a big thing that helps me keep on track, definitely having a baby and everything. I always schedule myself a half hour
you
before.
guys, the solution is for me to have a baby. She just validated that.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
That's what I heard. Were you, before having a kid, were you like
Always organized? Yes.
Or I mean like time management wise?
Yes, usually. I think I just got worse afterwards.
Not worse. Crazier, better.
Crazier.
More organized.
Yeah.
Let's use a positive connotation. I don't know if connotation is the right word to use, but we're going to use it. I think another thing too with organizing your life is
strict schedule.
Like having a routine, being disciplined with it, but also balancing your different parts of your life. So like balancing your personal life and then balancing like business and career and stuff like that. Also doing that too.
It's hard to balance a lot of things, but just keep a routine going. Routine is key. It's okay.
Something else too, last couple things, because we have a couple to get through. Something recently that I have started telling myself, and like when I'm really, really busy and I'm getting stressed and I'm like, whatever, it's not to look at myself as a victim that I have so much going on, but more that like, this is a privilege that I'm this busy. And I think that helps with kind of organizing and separating personal and business, is like not looking at it as a problem, but like for you to ask, how do I organize my life? That's a privilege that you have so much within your life that you feel as though you need to organize it.
Yeah.
So like that's like just like a positive perspective on that.
But try to keep your schedule not the same, but just like have consistent. Have a like,
you don't want it to be like same black and white life every single day.
No.
Like, cause then what is I think it's a Taylor Swift lyric, but how do you say the word? Familiarity. How do you say it?
I don't know. Now you got me all messed up.
That's definitely not. Familiarity.
Familiar. So
familiar with ITY, I think at the end. Breeds contempt.
We still need a speech class.
I actually do want to get my tongue tie cut and take speech classes, and everybody thinks I'm like joking when I say it, but I think it would help with my profession so much.
Me too.
Like I can't even lift my tongue up. I'm like, and I never shut up. And she wrote her name, so we're gonna say it. Then Alex. I don't know, like
Alex said how big my tits are.
You got back problems, sis? Do you have one boob that's bigger than the other boob?
My boobs are deflated now.
Okay. I want you guys, when you listen to this episode, to go and find the picture that has on our Instagram of our summer merch that has the Morgan Wallen song and Angelina, and look at the second picture and just know that she just said she has a double chin.
Why does my neck look like that though?
What do you mean it's your neck?
You need Botox.
Is that what's the Botox, a
Filler.
fat burner? How would
mean,
that get...
It can, like...
I can show you what a double chin looks like.
Me too.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you actually have one if you have to do that. You're crazy sometimes. It's my turn.
Really, that's gonna be mine? About family trauma, conditioning, and genetics, and quote-unquote, etc.
Family trauma can condition people, and it can condition people for generations. All right, you're going to probably might feel a little spooky that I'm about to say this, but I say this all the time, and I said it on my social media platforms. So I have my white mom, Italian family, and then on my dad's side, I have like African Americans, natives. On my mom's side of my family, they don't, like, you get yelled at, you might get like a smack on the hand, but they're not whooping ass with belts or anything like that. They're not like hurting, us. And then on my dad's side of the family, like, they do that. They still do that. Like, there's certain times where like, oh yeah, like I just whooped his ass. And I'm like, because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in causing physical harm or violence onto your kid in a way to make them listen to you. Or like, have you never heard of talking to somebody? When you think about the household that on a percentage, on a stat basis, uses like whooping and stuff like that, most it's going to be an African American household. Why would a certain household have such a higher percentage than the rest? Well, you all had to have learned that as a whole. And where would you have learned that from?
Grandparents.
And where would they learn that from?
Their parents.
And it goes back to like, think about when African Americans first really experienced getting whipped to perform or do something the way that somebody else wants. It's slavery. It's generational trauma from slavery. The reason why whooping and like physical harm to get it is a mass form of generational trauma just from so long ago that you wouldn't even think about it, but they did it. It happened to them, right? And then, whatever happened over the years, but it gets brought with them.
Yeah.
You're taught, imagine like you're born into slavery.
Yeah.
The only thing you know is that for someone to listen or do something, they need to be hit, they need to be whipped. That's all you know.
Yeah.
So then you pass it down to your kids, and then you pass it down, and you're hundreds and hundreds, whatever, later, and it's just still getting passed down and passed down.
Yeah.
People get whipped by their parents, and they automatically think like, oh, okay, that's how I'm going to do my kids too, and it just goes down. I just mean in terms of like on a mass scale. That's just my belief, and like just based off of my life experiences, like I feel like a lot, like almost every African American household or friend or family or whatever that I've ever met, experienced, is always like, yep, got whipped as a kid. Yep, my parents whooped. Yep, I'm going to whip my kids. I used to get in arguments with people about who would be like, my parents whipped me. Why wouldn't I whip my kids? And I'm like, way to be a follower.
Yeah. Also, I feel like, but some moms nowadays are so soft with their kids.
Yeah, you can't be soft because then you raise bad kids. You raise undisciplined kids.
But that doesn't mean being soft means not being soft means you have to literally whip your kid.
No, like, and I think if from a young age you are really big on your the childhood development and like discipline, like how you are with Savannah, like that's all it takes. And sometimes, yes, kids are worse or kids, but they're worse than others in like behavioral, whatever, temper, stuff like that. But are you okay?
Yeah, something was in my eye.
Oh, but like that doesn't necessarily mean that violence is the answer.
No, I don't think it is.
I don't think it ever. Not with children. Sometimes though, in adult life, I do think violence can be the answer. Just a little.
Let's just start throwing hands.
Just like, well, nobody does that anymore. Everyone just shoots each other, stabs each other, or makes a post. No, it literally is. It's a joke. Like, I always say whenever I hear like, oh, so and so started beefing at a party, pulled out guns and shot each other. I'm like, what? Did you have a good time? Because fighting used to be like you used to, but like you just lazy motherfuckers. Like I can't stand when I hear that people got, like if like somebody's trying to come into your property or something and kill you, then I think you do have the right to like protect yourself on like that scale. Yeah. And that's just because I've been watching a lot of live PD shows lately, and I'm like, damn, like some of y'all needed guns in your house to protect you from the shit that's coming into your house.
I will have guns in my house.
But on the scale of like being out at a party and getting in a disagreement with somebody and then shooting them,
yeah,
what are we doing?
I think it's so.
And it's all the time, especially in the summertime.
Oh, it's so big.
Bad in the summer. But like all the time. I'm like, nobody wants to.
Like, who wants to? I don't know.
Like, just
But
go
our
out
brain
into
doesn't
the
work
middle of the street and fist fight like the rest of us. And then one of you either go home or you both come back, grab a beer, be pissed off. But like, it is never that serious for you to have
Pull
to
out a gun or
and do a
gun.
lethal type
Yeah.
of like, no. Fucking Meta. Who runs Meta? Is that John? Is that Bezos?
I don't
Jeff
know.
Bezos?
AI.
Don't get me started on the Meta shit. Oh, I love this one. It is manifesting your best life. Do you want me to kick it off or did you?
Go ahead. I tried to. I try to manifest my best life, but I'm also in a wave right now, so not a good person to ask that to.
It's okay. You still can manifest though.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys an example of. Okay.
You manifested me being on this podcast.
I have manifested
everything she has gotten, she has manifested.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just trying to fix the thing. Yeah, no, I have manifested everything in my life. I manifested my car that I drive. I had always wanted either an Elantra or a Kia K5. And when my Mazda Tribute was like leaking and it was like breaking and it was like blah, 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 blah. And so we're going to the dealership. My credit was not good. And we were looking like options. And then like in my price range, they only had a red and a blue one, like bright red and royal blue. And I was like, I'm not
Driving.
And everyone's just like, sometimes you got to work with no. I told myself that I was going to get a nice, cute, little bit of bouge white car. And I wanted it to be an Elantra. And everyone was like, oh, you have to put money down. You need to like save your money, like whatever. And it's no news to anybody. I have a spending problem. So I didn't put money aside. And I was like, I'm just going to sell my old car for $3,000. And everyone's like, you're not getting $3,000 for that. Like it's 160 something miles. It has a bit of a leakage. I had people tell me to lie that it didn't have a leakage, whatever. I posted about it. I did not lie, and I said it does have like a leak, but I only told people if they came to see it. I would say like, it has a leak or whatever. And this this guy up the street came by. He said, all I need to know is does a cigarette lighter work? Because that's what all my mom needs, and the AC. And I said, yeah, that shit works. That was it. Sold it for $3,000. Everybody was like, how'd you do? Because I told myself. The thing about when you manifest is you can't have a single ounce of doubt.
Yeah.
You cannot have a single ounce of doubt. And even if something doesn't work out, don't let it cause fear and doubt. Just know that means that there was something else in the works that this manifestation didn't align with. And having Angelina on the podcast, I had asked her. She turned me down. She rejected me. She said, no. And that day that we met, we had an awful fucking lunch. Do you remember that lunch?
That was awful.
On the hunt for avocado that just never came.
I just wanted an avocado
on the sandwich.
And
then you wanted it on the side.
Yeah.
And then it never came. But you know where it did come on? The check.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not an asshole like that, but you're going to have to take this off. Because we asked like, what, four times? It's coming. And then they dropped the check off. I was like, okay, because the avocado's not coming. Yeah. And then, went about my stuff, like whatever. We had the whole situation with the podcast. Not a hateful situation. I feel like I have to keep disclosing this because people have... Anyway. And next thing you know, we're working out one day and here's Angelina. And I have said this all the time. It is... You are the perfect person for this podcast. You're the perfect person as a co-host. Like, I cannot imagine doing any of this with another single human being. Like, at all. And I, like, mean that. I'm not trying to, like, kiss your ass. I actually mean that.
No, kiss my ass.
Things are getting crazy. This video is 100% flagged. We got gun violence and ass cheeks and tits. We did vision boards.
Yes.
And for like the past probably for the past like month and a half, I look at it every morning. I look at all my vision boards. I have a picture one with all different photos. I actually just looked at that the other day, and I have one more thing left on that vision board that I don't have in my life, and that's an apartment. There is a yacht on there, but that's just like bougie lifestyle. So I have that almost done.
We'll get that yacht.
Yeah, just you really have to.
You have to really want it, and you have to.
And don't stress about it.
Yeah, don't. And
just ask. You don't have to tell people. You don't keep it to yourself.
Yeah, don't tell people.
Keep it to yourself. That is another thing too.
I can tell her because
there are certain, like, I have like 3 people. I tell my grandfather everything. I tell Angelina everything.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell a friend here and there. But other than that, like, I really do keep a lot to myself, and it allows me to work on that manifestation without any negative type of energy kind of going against it. But yeah, going to Amsterdam and London was a manifestation. When I was offered the ticket and I was offered the flight and like all that stuff, there was no way off of my bank account from there that I was going to be able to do it. And I was like, I'm just going to work. And somehow it's just, I'm going. And I put Taylor Swift on my vision board, and guess what? I'll be seeing her next week.
Front row.
Front row. I'm so excited.
Mental health over 40.
Pink flamingo.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of from our episode
Finding your pink again.
I think when you go through life,
yeah,
you can never be the same person. And we've talked about this. You have to always be changing with yourself and things like that. So when you get to like an age like 40, you can't have the same mental mindsets and perspectives and stuff as you did in your 20s or your 30s.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of have to evolve with it. So I think when you're talking about like a mental health in my 40s, check where you're at in life. Mm-hmm. Check how have your dreams and goals changed? How have your ambitions changed? You know, if you're more tired with things than you are the other things. I don't want to like insinuate that being old makes you tired, but like
find something new that gives you a spark again.
Exactly. I always say, another thing, and I love this, is look at your life in sets of 20s. From the time you're born to 20 years old, think of all the things you've ever done.
Yeah.
It's a lot of shit. Then imagine doing that again, 20 to 40. There's so much opportunity to do so many things. Then you have 40 to 60. Then you have 60 to 80. And then if you're lucky enough and fortunate, 80 to 100. You literally have all these like phases of your life to do so much. Like if I think of everything I've done from the time I was born to 20, and I get to have that much time for another set of
20 years.
And then 20 years again, and then 20 years again. I think it's just your mental health kind of based on, have you found yourself at your new age?
Yeah.
And the way to do that is self-love. And I always tell everybody, get in your hobby bag. Get in your hobby bag. Find what you love, turn it into a profitable hobby that doesn't take away your love for it. And you're set doing stuff that you love. Yeah. How do I know what I'm meant to do how do I know what I'm meant to do in life? That comes from finding yourself.
Yeah.
And I say this all the time. There's like one really good thing you can always do. And if you work on self-love, everything aligns.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you have to do. You just work on self-love, self-help, self-awareness, all self. And it was go on YouTube and look up, how do I love myself? Go up on YouTube and look first steps to self-love. There are so many women and men and stuff.
Also listen to episode 7.
Yes, with Katie. We have an episode. Don't listen to anybody else. Go to our YouTube, go to our thing, episode 7, How Do I Love Myself with Katie. She really dives deep into, some tips and stuff like that. For instance, I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life. I had no future. I never saw myself past senior year of high school. None of that. And then through a lot of trials and tribulations, I realized that my life purpose, I'm a giver. I love to give. And I used to hate that about myself. And then I realized it's actually a superpower. And look at what I can do with being creative and being a giver. There's so many stuff, and found that my life purpose is to give, but with boundaries and stuff like that. But to just, help heal people as much as possible and bring people together. That's my life purpose. And I found that out once I started loving myself.
Yeah.
What's your life purpose?
My life purpose?
Mm-hmm. You have 2. You have yours and then mom.
Yeah, I was just going to say be a mom. Mm-hmm. I could be a mom to 10 kids if I could afford it.
On a compound.
Yeah. That's a dream. But also to help people as well, be a nurse.
I was going to say.
Help people get through motherhood because it is challenging to do it alone. But help giving back is definitely my
And
purpose.
both come from, sorry, I'm literally eating, I'm so hungry. Both come from love.
Yeah.
Self-love and outer love.
Yes.
Love is just...
And also experience and hearing stories about my mom doing it as well. So.
That's also shows your love for your mom.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I always say love is the best thing to experience in the human experience, even if it's just towards yourself.
And even when you're doing something that, like, trying to find your purpose, you'll feel it. I feel like it gives you, like, the butterflies in your belly, and, like, you just have this weird feeling in your heart, and you're like, oh my God.
I feel like there's so many people in professions that hate their jobs,
Yeah.
and it's because they're not fulfilling their life purpose.
Yeah, no.
Because they're just told, do this 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's hard. It's really hard. But we're coming to a place where people can make careers off of their life purpose.
Yes. Agreed.
And that's why people are starting to get, like, you know, governments and stuff get crazy, because imagine a society full of people that don't want to do 9 to 5s, and they just, and some people like the 9 to 5s though. Like, I know people that are like, no, I love my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Good, you're meant for a 9 to 5. But there's a lot of people in your profession that are not supposed to be there, but they feel like they have to, because that's what they're told.
Yeah.
You go to school, you go to college, you get a degree, you do your 9 to 5. It's like a pipeline.
So this one says, finding who you are as a young adult. Who the F knows how to do that?
Finding yourself as a young finding yourself at any stage of life is just finding how to love yourself at all the things that you're going through. And silver lining, like, bad shit can happen to you, silver line it into making yourself a better person. And by doing that, you also find yourself more. I just think, like, what are your wants and needs? Does your environment match that? Does your relationships match that? That's another thing too, is you gotta be willing to, you don't have to burn a bridge, but you have to be willing to close it. And to be like, you know what, this is not
for you anymore.
It doesn't serve. It's not serving me anything.
Yep.
I think figuring out, I feel very fortunate because at the age of 24, I feel like not that I have life figured out or that I'm a know-it-all or anything like that, but I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm meant to be doing. I know who I am, and I find myself more and more each day, but I know who I am.
And you know who to like cut off and keep your distance
from. And I know, and I can do it easily now without guilt. I mean, sometimes I don't, and it takes for some circumstance, and then once the situation happens, then I'm like, oh, okay. Sometimes I burn bridges too. You know, you can't be perfect. That's another thing I want to say. You're never going to be perfect. You will never be perfect at anything until the day you die. And even then, you're not perfect. And if you ever feel as though you are perfect, or like, you're like, oh, I whatever, there's no room for improvement on whatever, then there's extra need for improvement, because everything can always be elevated.
Even if you love yourself, you should still feel like you have things
to do,
work on,
and especially as you get older, because then other things keep happening to you that you have to, unfortunately, well, I wouldn't even say unfortunately, because it's like the privilege of living, of having the human experience,
opening and closing new chapters, like,
over and over. And it's so fun. I find it so fun. I look forward to every fresh day. Like, every fresh day, like, what can I get done this day? That's my little, like, crazy business side, but, like, what's in it for, like, what do I get to experience today? Once it hits 12 o'clock, I'm over the day, though. I'm ready for the next day, because I feel like my day's done. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
12 o'clock at night or the
morning? Like, once it hits noon, I'm like, I'm excited for another day. Is this the last one?
No, we got 2 more.
Right.
Or 1 more.
1 more? You want to pull yours out and we'll just...
Yeah.
Some of you guys roll these up real nice.
Oh gosh, of course I get this one.
What is it?
Go ahead, you go first.
Finding happiness in your single life. Well, you've come to the right channel, because I've been single for a really long time. I actually enjoy being single so much to the point that I'm a little nervous that I'm not going to know how to be in a relationship, like how to like give time to somebody else. I'll be able to, so like it's not like I'm like I'll let it dictate.
You just aren't ready yet. Like
not even you could ready. Be like, ready. Okay, it depends. So if somebody came to me and was like what I deserved and what I needed, and not toxic and whatever, then I'm ready. That's fine. Yeah. I'm at the point now where unless it's like that, it's not for me, and I'm too busy. I'm working on myself. I'm doing that. I can't. Have
so many things coming up. Like there's no.
You would have to be.
Yeah, you would have to be
that, like not the one, but like you know what I mean?
No, you gotta be the
like
one.
That's why I try not to entertain. Thank you. I was just trying not to sound like a jerk, but yeah, like you have to be like something that from the very first few interactions or whatever, I can think like you're solid.
Yeah,
you're solid. Like I can do my career.
Love at first sight.
Get out of here. You sound like my mother. They have a pop-up going on in Atlantic City or something like that. It's Miss Girls.
Savannah. Savannah, you want to come here?
But once again, it also comes down just self-love. Everything really comes down to love and self-love. Finding happiness in your single life. Okay, so some things I started doing, this is a while ago, but when I was like feeling lonely and being like, I'm single, my friends and blah, blah, blah. One, a lot of people's relationships that like look image perfect or whatever actually aren't. So that like kind of makes you like, at least you're not in a struggling relationship. But something I used to do is like I take myself out. I go out to eat by myself. I go out and have a drink by myself.
I love doing that.
Savannah. Oh.
Come here.
Like this. Say hi.
Say hi to the camera.
You're like, what is all this stuff in my playroom?
So Miss Savannah only took. Oh, you're gonna hold it for mommy. Miss Savannah only took like an hour
Mama.
and a half nap. So she just woke up.
Mama.
Cranky.
Hi. This is my birthday twin. Angelina gave me a birthday twin.
Yes.
Birthday twin. Birthday twin. You wanna look? There's not much in there. But yeah, single life, just treating yourself, being with yourself. You don't want it? Well, there's just papers.
Oh. Yeah, you just have to find that self-love, and that will make you...
Yeah, look. I literally love her.
But finding that self-love will make life
Clean up?
easier. Enjoy going out to eat by yourself, like Tyler said. Enjoy just going
Oh my God, just being by yourself, doing things by
Yeah.
yourself, having your own routine. It's actually a privilege.
Yeah.
Because like you say it all the time, like when you have like you time,
Yeah. It's
like when
the
it's
best
just
thing
you,
in
it's like
the
the best thing in the world. Because you don't realize things like that. And like,
world. The little things.
because when you're like, when you're like single mindset, it's like, oh my God, I'm so lonely.
You
Oh my
wanna say
God.
hi?
Oh. But yeah.
Yeah, and then the last thing said overthinking.
Oh. Go ahead.
I don't know if I'm like the right person to ask this because I'm still struggling with it myself. I'm a very overthinker. Give me that bank. You're done your nap, aren't you? Or are you gonna go night-night?
She might go night-night.
I know, she looks like she is.
She looked, when she was standing right there, she looked tired. You go night-night?
Night-night.
Go night-night like this. Go night-night.
Yeah, so I don't really have...
Overthinking to me, take lemon chills. And
Yes,
I love lemon chills, but
let me focus. Let me focus. Oh my gosh, it's helped me so much with school to relax and like
just like woosah,
just focus
it's
on my
lion's mane.
school.
I think it's lion's mane. And
Yeah.
that's really good for like
Focusing.
calming down and focusing.
Yeah.
But when it comes to overthinking, I say this a lot is that all you're doing, like what you're basically doing when you're overthinking is focusing on something that you probably one, have no control over, and two, something that hasn't happened yet. So instead of overthinking, I manifest. So and don't get me wrong, it happens. We all do it. But at the end of the day, like, for instance, I went to a funeral service, the one that I just went to, and I went by myself. And I've never done that. Funerals aren't my thing or whatever. And it wasn't like I'm like BFFs with the people, but I wanted to pay my respects. And I started overthinking like, oh my God, people are gonna think I'm weird. And I just immediately was like, stop it, because it hasn't happened yet. You have no idea how a situation's actually gonna turn out until you go and do it.
Yeah.
And then once you do it 9 out of 10 times, it never was that overthought that you thought it was gonna be. For instance, I walked in, I saw some people from like my town that I hadn't seen in a while. We chatted, we talked about like catching up. I got compliments on the dress that I was wearing. Thank you, Diane. Borrowed it from her. And it was beautiful. Yeah, hey.
Say hi. Say hi.
Yeah, mic'd up. No.
No.
I lost my train of thought. I just love kids so much. I'm just always thinking about babies. Yep, see? Like, do you guys hear that? It's baby fever is what that is. And like, there's been so many situations where I go and I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna happen, whatever. And then it's the complete opposite. It always is. But if you go into a situation with the set mindset, something's going to go wrong.
then it's gonna go wrong.
You know what I
just,
mean?
You just need to have that positive mindset and go with your gut.
And flick
Even
Miss Stupid off your shoulder. Flick Miss Stupid off your shoulder.
Yeah, flick Miss Stupid off, or Mr. Stupid off your shoulder, because if you don't, you're gonna fuck up the situation for yourself. Mm-hmm. And you don't want that to happen. Sorry, close your ears, Savannah. That was fun.
Also, I do really want whoever sent us that same submission twice about when's enough for parents, let us know. Also, anybody who didn't get anybody who didn't get a chance to submit a submission at our pop-up event, you can always DM us. We have anonymous submission platforms on Facebook and Reddit. If you even, not a submission, but you want advice on something, you want to, talk about something, head over to our Instagram page, because TikTok doesn't really let us do DMs. So head over to our Instagram. Everything's always linked all together for you guys in our link in bio tool, and just reach out to us, and we're always here.
Yeah. All right, guys. We love you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Blow kiss.
Go.
Mwah. Mwah. Yeah. Okay.
That was her goodbye. Mama. Bottle.
Listen, she usually talks a lot. It's because she's still tired.
Mama. Mama.
Yeah, good job. That is so sick. She said, give me that mic right now.
Mama.
Mama.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. You're the new host.
Say, happy Sunday.
Say bye-bye.
Say bye-bye.
Say bye-bye. Okay, we're not going to start pulling wires, though.
We love you guys.
All right, we love you guys.
We'll see you next Sunday.
Yep.
I'll be back in the country. What are you looking like that for? Say bye-bye to the people.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. She's like, who are we waving to?